All right, let's talk about auditing. It is so easy to fall into that trap of just, checking the boxes. But what if your audit program could actually learn and get smarter with every single cycle? Well, that's exactly what we're diving in today. The best practices for continuous improvement that can turn your audits from a routine task into a real engine for growth. Let's get started. And this quote really nails it. Continuous improvement isn't just some buzzword they throw around in meetings. It's the absolute core principle that makes sure audits are actually delivering value. We're talking about building trust, locking in quality, and giving everyone, all the stakeholders, that rock-solid confidence that your systems aren't just working now, but are built to handle whatever comes next.
So, that's the big question, right? How do you actually do it? How do you build an audit program that isn't static, but one that actually learns, adapts, and evolves over time? The key here is a mental shift, moving away from just finishing an audit to creating a living, breathing system that gets better and sharper after every single one. So to break this down, we're going to look at the core of auditing, then dive into 3 key pillars: empowering people, refining processes, and leveraging technology. And finally, we'll pull it all together into an improvement blueprint for you. Okay, so first up, the core of auditing. Before we jump into the how, we've got to get on the same page about the why. Why is this so incredibly important in the first place? So here's the deal. The most important word here is cycle. This isn't a one-and-done fix. It's a constant, proactive loop. You learn, you innovate, you adapt, and you do it over and over again to keep pushing for better quality, stronger confidence, and just plain operational excellence. All right, on to our first pillar, empowering people. And honestly, this is the foundation. You can have the best tech and the slickest processes in the world, but if your people aren't on board, forget it. Real improvement always starts with people. And this pillar really stands on 3 legs. First, fostering that continuous improvement mindset. Second, investing in regular training. And third, really enhancing how your teams collaborate and communicate. Get these 3 right, and you're building a culture where improvement is just natural. Now, that mindset, it has to come from the top. Leadership needs to be the biggest cheerleader for innovation, and the culture itself has to change so that feedback isn't seen as criticism, it's seen as an essential tool for getting better. When that happens, you create this incredible environment where everyone is constantly on the lookout for improvements. And when it comes to development, you really want the best of both worlds. Internally, you tap into your own experts through things like peer mentorship. But you also have to look outside, right? Go to conferences, see what others are doing. That external benchmarking is what keeps you from getting stuck in your own bubble. Collaboration is huge. Let's say you're doing a financial audit. If you bring in an IT expert, they might spot digital risks that the finance team would never even think to look for. It's about getting those different perspectives. And crucially, it's about a no-blame culture. The goal is to find a solution, not to figure out who to blame. Okay, so you've got your empowered people. What's next? Pillar 2, refining processes. This is the engine. It's what takes all that great energy and those good ideas from your team and turns them into something consistent and repeatable.
And what makes this engine run? Well, it's 3 key things: building systematic feedback loops, measuring and monitoring what's going on, and being totally committed to optimizing your processes. These are the gears that turn good intentions into real, measurable progress. So a feedback loop might sound a bit abstract, but it's really not. It's a super practical 4-step process. You debrief after an audit, you get feedback from stakeholders, you document what you learned, and, this is the most important part, you actually integrate those learnings back into your procedures. It's how you make sure you don't make the same mistake twice. Now, this is really important. When it comes to metrics, you need to look at 2 different types. Lagging indicators are like looking in the rearview mirror. They tell you what's already happened, like how many findings came up again. Leading indicators, on the other hand, are like looking through the windshield. They help you predict the future. Think about how fast you're closing corrective actions. That tells you a lot about your future performance. And optimization in action is all about balance. It's not about creating a rigid rule book. It's more like a playbook. You standardize the steps that you know work to get that consistency, but you also give your auditors the flexibility to call an audible, to adapt their approach based on the specific risks they're seeing in the moment. So we've got our people and our processes. Now it's time to add the rocket fuel. That's our 3rd pillar, technology. This is the accelerator that can take everything you've built and just launch it to the next level.
And we're talking about more than just software that makes things a little faster. We're talking about things like data analytics, AI, and automation. These tools don't just speed things up, they completely change the game. They open up new possibilities and expand what an auditor can even do.
I mean, take data analytics, for example. This is a total game changer. For decades, auditing was about sampling, checking a small piece of the pie and hoping you found any problems. Now, you can scan 100% of transactions, every single one. You're not guessing anymore. You're moving to a proactive, totally evidence-based approach to risk.
And look at what that does. A lot of people worry that automation is about replacing auditors. It's not. It's about elevating them. You let the machines handle the boring, repetitive stuff. That frees up your people to do what they do best: high-value strategic thinking and complex problem-solving. It's a win-win.
Okay, so we've looked at people, processes, and technology. Let's pull it all together now into a clear blueprint you can actually use.
And here it is, all in one place. This is the framework. People are your foundation, with the right mindset and skills. Process is your engine, with its feedback loops and measurements. And technology is your accelerator. You need all three working together to build an audit program that is truly effective and resilient.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. As audits get more and more data-driven, it's easy to get obsessed with the technology. But remember, the tools are only as good as the people behind them. So the final question for you is this. In your organization, what is your greatest human asset? Is it collaboration, critical thinking, creativity? Whatever it is, that's the secret ingredient that's going to amplify the impact of every single tool and process you implement.